I remember, just flying there. We were in Austria, and there was when we were waiting in Austria, the next flight was a flight to Albania. So we're sitting next to all these Albanians and everything, and that was like kind of that first like best 2 years moment. We're just like, well, that's not the language they taught in the MTC, but it was a really really cool experience just getting there. I remember we were on the plane in Albania. I was tired. I was passed out the entire time. And then when we actually landed, it was just kind of like that realization moment, like, whoa, I'm here. I started to get like a little weak knees, but I was just like excited to get out there. And that was also like our first experience kind of with like the culture of the people, because we were going through where they check your passport. And like, kind of like with the American mindset, you're kind of like used to like regular lines, where in Albania, if you go to like a store or something like that, sometimes they have lines, but the majority of places people are just trying to cram in and get to be the first one to go. And so I remember this this lady just kept trying to like cut everybody, and we're like, what is she doing? And so we had some guys that in our group that were pretty big, and so they kind of like stood in front of her. and we just remember she got like a little frustrated. She finally like, peeked her way through, but then they opened up another lane to check the passport. So we got through. But I remember getting out, seeing the APs, seeing President Ford, and we were driving, and I just remember the traffic. It was pretty much everyone fend for themselves. One of the rules that we always had like a joke about was protect your front bumper, and everybody else will protect theirs. And it was just a fun experience of being able to get there. And we were going out street contacting. I was with Elder Steinley, and I remember he's like, all right, man, next person's comes up and you're going to talk to them. And I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. And then I just remember the guy like stopped me. I had no idea what to say, and I just started like testifying, saying random stuff. All the words I knew, I learned in the MTC just kind of came all at once. And I was just like, looking back on it, I was like, wow, yeah, that could use some work. But it was just a fun experience. I remember being really like hot and humid. I'm from Texas, and so like it kind of felt like going back home for a bit. It felt really good, but overall experience, it felt like, yeah, just one big roller coaster. We were all really really tired. I remember we were with President and Sister Ford that night giving our testimony meeting, and we were sitting on the couch in their little apartment, and I passed out on the chair, and I looked around. I wasn't the only one, so I didn't feel as bad. But then we got to the hotel, and I remember that morning we were all kind of looking out like the window, like the hotel room, and from what you can see, there's like an alleyway with a whole bunch of like wires going around, electrical wires, and we were just like looking out. We're like, wow, we're here. This is starting. And it got even more when I think it was that morning we went up to have a big memorial monument that overlooks the capital city of Tirana, and it was where Elder Oaks gave his dedicatory prayer. And you look over the city, you read it, and you kind of get like that feel of like this is how it all started, and this is where it's going to start. And I just remember thinking about like, I don't know where I'm going to go at that point, but like we can just get that. We were all just really excited just to get the ball rolling.